going to show you how to make a little notebook like this. Okay, it's an origami fold with a figure of 8 binding. The front takes into this pocket at the front, and then it opens up and you've got some tucky spots here. You put a piece of card in there or there. It's perfect for this time of year when people want to give gift cards to people. But it's also really nice. You can put the bow on the front, in the middle or on the back. I'm going to show you how to make it. So this was done from a single piece of 12 by 12 paper. And then what you want to do is to cut it down so it's a ratio of 3 to 4, I think. Or anyway, so this is 12 and that's 9. Does that make sense? I want this to be the front cover, and the piece of paper that you want is not too thin and not too thick, because you're going to have to fold it loads of times. So this is like A4 size, so it's portrait. You want to turn it so it's landscape, and that the piece you want, the bit you want on the front of the notebook, is facing down. Okay, I've got this piece here which I cut off from the 12 by 12, and that measures 3 by 12, and I'm going to use that at the end, so that's why it's there. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to do a fold, not just for measuring purposes, and you're going to pinch the bottom here. Okay, so you know to fold up. So you fold that back, and where the crease marks are, you're going to fold up the bottom, and pinch. So you're going to need a bone folder just to make sure that these points are really nice and sharp. And then this side, turn it around. This is a bit ripped, but it's going to be in the middle, so it's going to be fine. So it's perfect for those pieces of papers that you don't have useful scrapbooking, and it's just hanging around. But it's not a cardstock piece of paper. That's the important thing to note. Okay, so now it's done. I'll do it again because it's bowing up a bit. Okay, so you're going to fold it in half, again upwards. Just going to make sure that's lined up. What you want to do is to get that good crease. Okay, so if you don't have a bone folder, you can use the back of a spoon or a knife, probably the blade, but not the sharp side because it'll go through. So now you've got that middle crease, you're going to open up and we're going to form now this pocket bit, okay, and then later the fold. So this is what we're going to do. So where the fold mark was there, you want to fold it up to that point, and try and be as accurate as you can. See, that was not on that side, because when you come to do the triangle folds, it's not going to marry up. Okay, so that one's down. And what you want to do with that fold, or what I have been doing, so I made quite a few, is just take that back and burnish it that way, so it does fold back on itself. So you've got the middle fold and the fold we just did there. You're going to take that bit and loop it up and crease it up to the middle point. So you will have a fold like this. You can see it's like a backwards Z. And you want to burnish this as well. It'll all become apparent soon. Okay, so now you've done that, this mark here, so the fold marks, is a bit harder on this darker paper, but if you are worried, just give it a crease and you can see. Doesn't help I'm doing this at night either. So what you want to do is fold that so the bottom, the edge of that meets the fold, and again burnish, and do the same on the opposite side. Okay, that's that done. And then what the next point is this bit here. So that is meant to be there when you fold it up. You want to fold this bit up here, and then you want to fold this point up to the line here. Okay, that should be 90 degrees and it's not. Okay, so now you can see why I'm saying don't use thicker paper, well, cardstock even, because you're doing quite structural folds and there's like 4 or 5 sheets on some of them. And then do the same the other side. Okay, now if we fold this bit back and turn it over, you can see now the pockets that we are going to be making. So that's there, and what I'm going to do is, because it's popping up, I'm just going to give it a burnish. Now if you had thinner paper, you will know that, because the paper might break. So what you want to do here is to fold this bit over. That's not one here to lay for that. Okay, and then you fold this one over, and let's see, by folding them quite accurately, it should meet in the middle. So don't worry, they don't always meet, and then it's just practice that makes it go perfect. So that now is the inside pocket there, can you see? Okay, so now we're going to do the pointed bit here and fold that up. Okay, so what you want to do is to make a point like an aeroplane. So I got this tutorial from a lady called Lindsay. It's her title of her Instagram page is It's a Lovely Day. She's a great artist and creator, but I found watching her Instagram video, she did a brilliant video, but I couldn't stop and start it. So this is why I'm doing a YouTube one for my friends, so they can pause it and go along from there. But she said it's like a paper airplane, so you know when you're a kid in maths class and the teacher was bored, and so the only mathematical thing you could do is teach people how to make an aeroplane. Don't think that'll be done these days, do you? Okay, so can you see how it's a nice point? Overlapping a tiny bit, but you'll find as we fold back that I mean, that's 4 pieces of card now that we're going to fold around. So now we've done it as a point for a point there. You're going to we want to make it a little bit smaller and create another fold line so we can do the next step. So this crease here, which is the double point, you want to line up with that outside one. And I found if you get a nice point down the bottom, it'll become more accurate. And like always, give that a good burnish and squish the fibres so they can fold round a bit more. And then this one exactly the same. A bit thirsty, sorry. There we go. Right, so now you're going to open both of these because you've created that fold point, and that's what's going to help you pop out and do the next fold. Okay, so we'll take one flap at a time. You want to open this up and create using that fold that you just created, not the first one, it's the second one from the bottom. You want to fold that around, but with this line going in 90 degrees that way. Fortunately, there's a line there, so it's quite handy. But you will almost find it like a kite. There we go. Don't worry about that bit there, but you can see how it's the kite shape. I made several of these for, I found putting this under here helped. So take the second line up, and that's what you want to line up with here. And it should meet that point, so it's a nice bit to match up to. As I was saying, I made a couple of these for a whatnot sale that I did at the weekend for Christmas, and I'll show you some of the Christmas ones that I made. So now you want to get that flap up and then tuck them into one another here, and that it looks wide now, but once we fold it in the next one it's going to come together. Now what Lindsay said to do was to fold this bit under. Now I find that really a bit tricky, so to get the muscle memory in the paper, because paper is made up of lots of fibres, and when you fold, this is why we use the bone folder, because it actually stretches the fibres so we can be able to fold them and for it to have a decent crease. So what I've been doing is to fold that up and it just gives it a bit of muscle memory for where it's going to go next. So what we want to do is to fold that up into that pocket there so it stays nice and intact. There we go, and see how that fold just made that really easy. Okay, there we go, and that is your booklet. Yeah, the basis of it. So what you want to do now is I fold this up, and I fold it to about there. Now, I said earlier that to have measurements, but I have found that you can do it with most rectangles. I want you to try and maybe make this size first with like an A4 or a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And then fold this back. And then you can go and experiment. So what you do, that's now done. And then you just poke that in there and it's done. So it's absolutely no glue. It's lovely. And so what I did next is I haven't got the papers, so I used them up. So the papers here, what I did is I measured from that fold, and to have it about 1/2 centimetre in from the edge of here, then half a centimetre down, and it worked out about 3 by 4. I think it was right anyway. So I cut out some sheets like this, and I just did 5 in this one. Folded them in half, and what you do next is you get an awl, and you get the paper so it's in the middle of the paper card, or paper stock, and then about 1.5 centimetres from the end. I do it at the same time as poking it through, so I'll show you this. And in there, and it all marries up. What I did do with some of the Christmas cards is, because we'd cut down and we had the spare piece, was I put the piece, I cut this in half, so it's 6 by 3, and then it had a little cover here. I actually did this one wrong because it said Christmas there, and I wanted that at the front, but I was rushing. So that's how you do them. And I hope that you have fun making them. I just want to show you this one that I made. Now this was with a very big piece of sample paper for wallpaper. It didn't always meet up, but I think it's because of the stretchy plasticky effect of it. But it's a beautiful, I mean, you could even put a card in there, you know, for a present. And it's not just for Christmas, you can make it any time of the year to a friend who, you know, is far away from you and want to keep in touch. You can easily attach a pen or a keyring or something in there. But yeah, that's the one we just made. And see that crease, that cut there is going to be hidden by the paper. And there you go, all done. So thank you for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next one.